Greetings. Another rambling rant here, Jeff. Um, yeah, man, I've had a rough time with this cold and flu thing or whatever. It's just lasted forever. And of course, my dealings with the medical system did not help. Wasted a lot of time on benzonatate and albuterol inhalers and stuff like that that just didn't do anything for me. Uh, anyway, forget this is boring. But today, there's so much interesting stuff going on in the world. It's crazy. Fast pace of things continues. Election year. Um, I think overall, just kind of a view on top of things. Is that whatever political party you're in or whatever, like if the frame that you're still in is Democrats versus Republicans, if you see the world in that frame, if you see the world in kind of a Jeff, kind of a MAGA voter versus kind of an educated NPR listener, Democrat voter, right versus left. That whole frame at this point has just crumbled all apart. It's meaningless, right? It's a false dichotomy. The real struggle that we are in, and the one they've been trying to steer you not to see, steering you away from continually, is this, whatever you want to call them. It's not a conspiracy. These people are out in the open. You can look them up. But they're like a corporate elite, a global corporate elite. They're the people that are defense contractors. Okay. They're the people that are lobbyists. They're the people that are lobbyists for big pharma, big energy, big military. Okay. These people are not necessarily Republicans or Democrats. All right, labor are lords. They're not in the old frames that we think of. They're not even on like the same planet as us anymore. Basically, the frame is corporate elites versus all the workers, all the poor people on the planet. That is the actual frame we are in. That's the nature of the struggle that we are in. And corporate elites include Democrats, right? The Democrats right now, of course, are kind of like the big face of it, corporate elitism. They're the thing. They're the ones pushing for more war, more censorship. You know, they have embraced all the ugly features of what used to be considered on the right. And so that's why staying in a right versus left frame is deceiving. It's not getting us anywhere, right? We need to say, who are we actually confronting? Okay. And man, the corporate elites, I mean, they love Donald Trump and their media that they've purchased completely, right? There's no independent journalism. We need to admit journalists are being killed. Real journalists on the planet right now, Palestinian journalists, especially journalists all over the planet, from Gary Webb forward, journalism has just been, taking a really having a hard time. And that is probably more than anything else is influencing what's happening right now. Like our mind, our inability to deal with anything, our inability to look back on the failures of the system during the COVID pandemic and to raise questions about it or to say, hey, you guys told us some real big lies and cognitive things that didn't go together. Right. And we just got to clarify that before we move forward. Right. We're anticipating there might be another problem. So we need to have a better system, a system that can be honest with the people and build confidence, get them to embrace things that are going to help the whole society and stuff like that, and not just foist toxic products on them by their connected friends in biopharma, right? That plan didn't work. That plan is bad, right? But most people can't acknowledge that even happened, and they just can't acknowledge the frame that we're in, that there's kind of a global elite kind of setting up a digital prison for most of the world. And actually, I don't think they're willing to admit that how far separate they really are from the global elites, and how the global elites really don't care about them. In fact, probably want a lot of us to just go away and die. It's not hyperbolic. I mean, you can see their policies, right? They don't look at the way they're treating people in Palestine and Gaza. Okay, the United States military industrial empire, with its local Zionist toadies there in Israel slash Palestine, right? Look what they've been willing to do. Tell people, oh, go over here to this hospital, and then bomb them. Now we're finding mass graves in the hospitals. Mass graves. Children with their hands tied, shot. So the Zionist expressions of what they're doing to normal humans, okay, in Gaza right now should be a wake up call for everybody. What they were willing to do to the truckers in Ottawa, Canada, when they froze their assets for simply protesting vaccine mandates. Most of them were vaccinated, by the way. They were not anti-vaxxers. And the Nazi flag that was conflated with them was a setup. Okay. So we got to get better at recognizing these setups. Now there's all these campus protests. There's protests against the Gaza war on every campus. But rather than dealing with the content of what the protesters are saying or debating free speech or anything like we did in the 60s, none of that. Instead, what we're doing is like calling names and pointing at each other, right? So some super Zionist media and kind of conservative Americans, unfortunately, have fallen for this thing that anybody who says anything against Palestine is just like this pro Hamas terrorist, right? So that's these Hamas terrorists and they're all anti-Jew. So you get one person in the crowd who's Jewish. I mean, who's one part of the Zionists. We know that they're doing this. The Zionists, you get one of them to say, "Oh, death to all Jews" or something like that, right? So one person in the crowd says that. The media picks up on that. Oh, look, they're all anti-Semitic, right? So these words have no meaning anymore. Some Palestinians are Semitic. They're the ones being murdered. If you support wholesale murder of Palestine, you're anti-Semitic. I hate to tell you, right? The Zionists themselves are kind of more like Europeans. They're less Semitic, as it were, than the Palestinians. Okay, so you are the anti-Semite if you are favoring what's happening in Palestine right now. But it's crazy. People are just lost. They're over. They've been hit one crisis after another. The elites are moving forward. The elites have plans, man. It's election year, and it's the debacle that they've made out of our democracy. And what right now the test is on. The elites are kind of like, we're doing things to you. We're actually sticking a stick in your face right now. What are you gonna do about it? I mean, that's really where we're at. All right, most people don't know this. They're still talking about Trump. They're still focused on MAGA, or anti-vaxxers or something. They don't have any idea. Are they do, and they're overwhelmed. That's probably more like it. But the elites right now are just like, boom, we're just killing you. We're taking away your future. We're destroying the economy. We're doing whatever. We don't care, right? We have bunkers for ourselves. We're all set up. We're ready to go. And most of you humans just stay off our beaches, stay out of our mountains, stay off our, planet, right? There's too many of you plebes out there, right? That's really the frame we're in. And people need to get at that. They need to focus on that. Biden and Trump are maybe part of the same, who knew, right? Friends. Maybe they're in the same class. Maybe the Clintons and Trump are actually kind of secret friends. And they're both just gross puppet toadies for a corporate cabal that's turned evil. Right? Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm not focusing very much what I need to focus on. But we need a whole new frame to look at what's happening right now. It's not Republican versus Democrat. That ain't it. If you're still there, you're lost. We've got to do everything to stop Trump, you're really lost. You're really stuck, right? We've got to do everything to stop Raytheon. They're killing us. They're killing the planet. They're taking everything. They don't care. Goldman Sachs combined with BlackRock, combined with Raytheon, combined with NPR, combined, these things have turned into a monolithic thing. And people now think, oh, I'm Jeff, I'm smart. I listen to NPR. I'm not a MAGA. But they don't have any questions for what happened with Pfizer and the response to COVID. They have no questions about that, no scrutiny, and they're just ready to fall for it again. And they have no scrutiny for these wars that we've been stuck. Nobody cares. And in 2014, if you were going to get mad about what was happening in Ukraine, it was 2014 because they replaced a democratically elected leader named Yanukovych. They kicked him out and then started killing Russian citizens there. And none of the left can even acknowledge that still. And they're still supporting Ukraine. They're just wrong. They're super wrong on all these narratives, on all of this. And they're not just narratives. This is people's lives. Ukraine is being destroyed. It's being turned into like a free trade appy zone for a super elite that'll be left there once they kill everybody they want to kill. Once they throw them at the Russians, and then just throw a bunch of weapons and money over there, which gets taken by the Russians. It's the whole thing, the policy in Ukraine. If you think it's been going well, you're some kind of idiot. If you think Biden is better than Trump, you're kind of an idiot. I have to say that. If you could say that, look, they're both failing us. Now you're getting it. Trump's going to be anti-establishment and blah, blah, blah. He's going to stick up for us. No, he's not. He's Operation Warp Speed, dude. He's embraced the vaccine faster than anybody else. Trump ain't it. He's not your rebel resistor. Sorry. He's a false. He's a trigger. He's meant to distract you from real resistance that you could be doing. Real resistance would be controlling the land in your area, controlling the water, telling the corporations to go to hell. Get out. Go back to hell. Right? This is our land. We're sovereign. Sovereignty. Sovereign local food production. Okay? When you're eating local organic food that you and your community had something to do with producing, you're winning. When you're eating Frito-Lays off the Frito-Lay truck and talking about Trump, you're losing. Okay? We're losing. There's no empowered movement here right now because we're losing all the land. We've sacrificed all the resources. And there's no left that's saying, this is an important thing now. Organic local farming. What they're saying instead is, oh no, are you transgender? It's just skin white. They're just lost and stuff that the elites have steered them to focus on. Stuff that doesn't matter. Stuff that's actually distracting from what's really happening. Right? Control of land for people, for the benefit of people, not private corporations. Fewer monopolies. No one notices that everything has been monopolized now. Just go out, just drive down the I-5 freeway and say, oh, I'm going to pull into a local mom and pop off the 5 freeway and just local, organic, local store, just pull off the 5 in Fresno and get a local something, right? No, the system, your navigation on your phone, it's all leading you to a mega store, a mega thing, a little chain thing. So there's a Starbucks outlet, there's a Taco Bell outlet, there's a KFC, there's a Chevron, and that's all there is at that stop. There's nothing else at that stop. There's no choice at that stop. You can be the hippest, coolest person on the planet. You're going to be buying crap from the distributor that controls that whole strip there. Okay? Well, that's the way our whole economy is now. You think you got more choices online? No, you're going to end up buying it from Amazon most of the time. Why is that? Even people that know Amazon is anti-union, Amazon's horrible, and they're all in there buying books on Amazon. There's no choice. We've surrendered. If you're a real progressive leftist in this planet right now, don't pat yourself on the back for supporting Biden and blocking Trump. You're a loser. We're losing. We're not winning right now. We're losing. And that's one of the first things you got to do if you're an addict is admit that you're an addict, admit you have a problem. We have a problem. This ability to focus everything on things that don't matter just because it's kind of fun and tribal, it's killing us. Actually, the hyper focus on Trump right now is killing us. No one's focused on affordable health care, fighting real corporate power, regaining control of some land for locals. None of that's happening. So we're losing, and we need a new frame. The new frame, a new way of thinking about things could help us. And don't just, when somebody brings it up, oh, you're Alex Jones or you're crazy, you're this, that. No, listen to them for a second. Okay. Maybe accept something. And, also being able to scrutinize things for what they really are, the messages themselves. I mean, the way I see it, we're just lost, deeper into being lost and potentially digitally enslaved than we've ever been.